And this will be posted in your community afterwards so that you can access these recordings. Just a couple technical tips. Looks like familiar faces on in our virtual room here. But just a reminder that if you have any technical issues, just message me in the chat or just type something in the chat and we will get those fixed for you. Same within the room. If you have any issues, you can't hear us or that kind of thing, just let us know and we'll make sure to get that ironed out. It's helpful, I think, if we, especially since we have such a smaller number, to just go around the room, say your name and where you're working, so that we can excuse me, continue that networking. Yeah, so I think if that's okay with you, Clint, can we do that real quick?
Sure. You want us to go around here and then you guys virtually? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm Clint Kendrick. I work with Children and Families of Iowa through the Parent Partner Program. I'm a service area coordinator for 17 counties.
Melissa Gradishnag, Director of Marketing for Central Iowa Shelter and Services.
Deanna Tipton, Parent Partner, predominantly Wapello County, but a lot of the surrounding areas too.
Misty McElroy, Parent Partner Coordinator for CFI for Wapello, Davis, Jefferson, Keokuk, Van Buren, and Washington.
I'm Rachel Klein. I'm the Food Pantry Manager at Helping Hand in Indianola.
Dina Swinson, I'm the one sitting in the corner. I'm just a school counselor here in Moravia. I am.
Not just, you are. Anna, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Anna, and I'm in the wrong conference room, I think.
Oh, really? Are you looking for the one of the other sessions?
Yeah.
All right. So what you're going to do is exit this room. Do you have the mural?
Yes.
Yeah. So on the mural, you'll see the rooms, and there's a link for each room to get you to the room you want to go to. And if you can't find it, you can go to the lobby and we can help you there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That's exactly how that should happen, by the way. If you're not in the place where you need to be, you need to find the place where you do need to be. And then is it Melissa Mboni?
It's Morgan Boney.
Morgan, sorry.
I'm a behavioral health case manager at River Hills in Ottumwa.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Clint.
Diane T.
Hi, Diane Tinker McCoy, housing management specialist with Iowa Total Care.
Thank you. And who's here from Family Crisis again? Could be no one. Let's see. And I know Carissa is there in person. So yeah, I think we've got everyone. Thanks so much.
Okay, so yeah, this was kind of an impromptu thing. We really didn't know what to anticipate when we came to this. So when they asked, you know, to put those up on the screen, I kind of just thought, well, we never really shy away from letting people know about our program because we obviously think very highly of it and believe in what it provides parents. So yeah, we just wanted to give kind of a brief overview of our program as we see it. We've got a pretty good range of people. Me as a service area coordinator, Misty as a local coordinator, and then Deanna as an actual parent partner. So you get it kind of all sides of what we do. And then if there's questions that come up, just ask. And, we essentially, this is Parent Partners is a statewide thing. Every county in Iowa has parent partners available. So if going through, once we talk about what we do and kind of who we serve, if you have people that fit that criteria or think they do, by all means, reach out to me or a local coordinator. And if you don't know who that is, we can get you that info. I don't want to take much of the speak. I'm going to give that to Deanna and Misty. Basically, my role is a supervisor to the local coordinators. I supervise 4 coordinators, all the way from Cedar Rapids, Powesheik County, all the way over to Appanoose. So we serve a very large area of the state. And we essentially work with DHS in order to help parents that have some sort of a disruption in the home. So whether that's, the kiddo had to move out to somebody else, has been put in foster care, maybe somebody had to move into the home to make sure that things were safe for a while. We can serve all of that population. The biggest thing is that it just has to have some sort of a disruption between parents and the kids. And then we get a referral through the department. But really, if working with families, if you feel that somebody would benefit from a parent partner, you can always reach out to us. And we will do the legwork to try to get a referral from the department. So I'll give it to Misty to kind of let her tell you a rundown of her local kind of responsibilities as a coordinator.
So I coordinate, I said all of them, but I can't, it's like 6 or 7 counties. And I have 12 parent partners that I supervise so basically the referrals come to me and then I assign them to who I feel is best fit for that case. I don't know, my role is usually a parent partner. Not anymore. So yeah, if you know anyone that needs a referral, or even if you know one that would make a good parent partner, just reach out to me and I can also take care of that. But Deanna does most of the work, so she can explain it better.
Thank you. Okay. So my job as a parent partner is to provide support for parents, females. It is female to female, male to male thing.
Yeah, can I break in for just a second?
What's
I'm
that?
having trouble hearing you. Can you
Okay,
have
I'm
the mic a
sorry.
little closer? Thanks.
Usually I'm a lot louder, so I don't know why you would have trouble. So when a parent is dealing with DHS, they have all these people coming at them, asking them to do this and that. And they've got lawyers, they've got the child's lawyer, they've got DHS, they've got all these things. And parent partners are basically just their support for the parents. Everything between me and my clients is confidential, with very few exception. I help find them resources, anything that they need to get done to get their children back in their home or back in their care is what I do. I help them find, like I said, help find resources. I can go to court with them. I can go to meetings with them. When they meet with DHS, they can have me present. I think it's important to say that in order to be a parent partner, you had to have at some point had a DHS case. You had to have gone through what these families are going through so that I can use my experience to help them through it. It's when you're dealing with DHS, it can be a very confusing time in your life. And some parents, there's so much going on that they forget that they need to do this and this, and they get these lists of things they have to do, and it becomes very overwhelming. I'm there to try to help calm the storm. I'm also there to try to help parents to learn how to advocate for themselves and to learn how to speak up, because sometimes these people, and a lot of my clients have substance abuse and mental health issues. A lot of times they have trouble vocalizing the things that they need, and they think that they can't say, well, this is what I want, this is what I need for my family. So part of my job is to help them find that voice. I love what I do. Absolutely. I love it. I feel that everything that happened to me in my life so far, bringing me to this point has prepared me to do what I do right now. I'm very passionate about my work. I'm also very passionate about recovery, and as part of my job, I always try to lean them towards recovery, because recovery is what you build the foundation of your rest of your life on, especially if you have substance abuse. I had to fight to get my kids back. And I love the fact that I have the opportunity now to help other families fight to get their kids back. So that's my.
I have lots of questions, actually. So what is the process? Like, can anybody refer somebody? Does it have to be a DHS case, or could it be the school counselor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so referrals, essentially, the actual referral we get will be from the Department of Human Services. So it'll be from a caseworker, protection worker, something like that. However, like, we can take a name, say you have the name and number, as long as you've talked to that person and okayed it with them to give us their info, we can get that referral process going with the department. Yep. Yep. So you can absolutely tell them that they can ask for a parent partner to their worker. So that would be one way we can get that referral, is if that parent actually talks to their worker and says, hey, I've heard about parent partners. What do I need to do to get one? That kind of thing.
And that's Appaloosa County. So I'm thinking two ways. A, school counselor Appaloosa, when I'm in.
Sorry, can I jump in here for a second? We can't hear the question at all. Is there another microphone, or could you pass the
Sorry.
microphone around?
She's coming over.
It's just like 30 miles southwest of here. No, yes, southwest of here. So my question was, can I, as a school counselor, I have two roles. I'm a school counselor. I'm also a BHIS worker. I have BHIS families that kind of have similar services in place, and I'm curious as to how to check on that. But secondly, as a school counselor, if I know there's a family in a DHS case and I know they need additional supports and maybe they aren't having this, can we check in on it somehow? Say, hey, here's the family. I mean, I'm sure there has to be releases signed and all that fun stuff. Right,
Yep.
right. But I mean, I'm kind of the DHS hub for our districts, where either I'm making the call, where the call was very timidly made by a teacher that wanted assistance, and then somehow I end up with the kiddo anyway in the fallout of it all. But
And you can always, if that's the case, you could always recommend to DHS. You can always recommend to DHS, hey, could we get parent partners in on this? And then they could send us a referral.
Close with those folks, but when you know the inside of the case, and you know there's stuff that needs to be caught or talked to or dealt with or taught, especially to the parents.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess the easiest answer is we can take any referral from any source, really. Officially, we have to get it to go through the department.
But I'm good at bugging them about
Yeah.
them, so.
And we have, I mean, I don't know how to put it on here, but we have a state map that actually gives each county and what coordinator is around over that county.
Your Appaloosa is Beth.
Yep.
Beth Van Neville, and Wayne County, I'm not sure on.
And then I do have some clients on my site, John did. Yeah, shared.
Sorry, folks, we're having trouble hearing again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think it's just, I think we're not passing the microphone. That's,
Yeah, it needs to get passed, and you need
Yep.
to have it close enough to you in order for us
Okay.
to hear you. Or you could just move the whole table up next to where the camera is, and then we can all be in on one conversation, maybe. That's the other option.
well, we can do that. You guys want to move up there? It'll be easier. We're gonna move.
Musical chairs.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I think there's a microphone right here on the computer, and we should be able to hear most of you just through that mic, so that might be easier.
Give us a second, we're working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm
you
right in
guys
front of
see
the
that?
camera.
Flip that camera over.
Just think of us as in the room with you, that's all. Don't think of it as being in front of a camera. Think of us as being in the room with you.
So they might be able to still hear if we put this.
Oh, this is so cozy. I'm loving this.
There's
Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So yes, there's a state map. We were kind of talking about which coordinators serve what areas. And there's an actual state map we can give to anybody that wants it, that will tell you exactly who's over a certain area, so you can make contact with them. And then the parent, you can give them that number, and the parent can call directly to the coordinator and kind of get that whole process going.
So the action is more a liaison with family and DHS or
Yep.
family and law or family and.
So yeah, they can self-refer. We can get referrals from, we've gotten referrals from like FCS, was FSRP.
It's
so
all
we've got-
changing.
Yeah.
Still the acronyms.
And then, yeah, from there, like Misty said, we kind of, the beauty with what we have with parent partners is we try to match a parent partner that would be a good fit with that parent specifically for what's going on. So if a parent partner has substance abuse in their past, and has been in recovery, that's obviously somebody that can mentor and would be a good fit with a parent going through something similar.
And we have a parent partner that has been through a lot of domestic violence, and so we pair her with.
Yep. And the other side of that is we don't want to assign a parent partner that would be triggered by that. So in that instance, if they have DV or sexual abuse or something in their past, that they can't mentor somebody with that going on, then we don't, we're not gonna assign them to somebody that would be more harmful to a parent partner, and put them in a position, where they wouldn't be comfortable. So we kind of get to know, the parent partners, what they're comfortable with. And we're always having those conversations with, if something doesn't feel right to you, you can let us know. You don't have to. The other side of our program is it's completely voluntary. So it's not court mandated, it's not DHS mandated. I can tell you, especially in Wapello, DHS is very, very pro parent partner. They see the benefits of it. And, the percentages even bear that out of, families that have had a parent partner involved are more successful more often than families that do not. So we kind of see that, and we work very well, especially in that area with supervisors and workers, things like that.
So if I had a family that I wanted to refer, they would have to be through DHS. That's where I'm confused. I mean, what if it's a family that I'm trying to avoid getting them involved with DHS?
Unfortunately, right now, they have to have some sort of a case with the department.
Even if it's voluntary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So potentially it might not have court involvement yet. So they may be in that first stages of, okay, we're coming in to give you support, but we're not going to send you through China or through court. We can still support them as long as they have that DHS kind of semi-involvement to start.
Okay.
Deanna, talk a little bit about what you do. So I'm a new family. What kinds of things are you doing with them?
My first thing that I do is I make contact with a parent and I tell them about with the program. I tell them about our confidentiality. And one of the biggest things I've found for family is I don't report to DHS.
Right.
They know that they can talk to me. They know that they don't have to hide things from me. They don't have to watch what they say. And I also let them know that I've been where they've been. I understand what they're going through because I've been there. And then I usually set up a time to meet with them and we sit and we talk. I find out about their case. find out about what's going on with their family, help them to find resources for whatever they need. A lot of the times it's housing, sometimes it's they need to get their license back or their car fixed, or they're trying to find a job. Whatever it is they need to do to get their kid.
According to the court, you need to approve.
Yes.
We also attend court hearings,
Court hearings,
family
family
team meetings,
meetings.
staffings.
Staffings, I'll take them to any or AA meetings and just, when-
More than DHS.
If it's
Something
related to their
DHS,
case. If it's related to their
case,
case, yes.
like I've had clients before us, we take them grocery shopping, I'm not allowed to do that. First, there's many reasons why.
Right.
But, I'm a support for
But
them
they needed help
sometimes.
setting up a budget to go grocery shopping.
I can
or
approve that.
Something along those lines.
I probably should learn how to do that myself.
Or
No.
something where food pantries are.
Yeah,
I can
like-
take them to food pantries.
Okay.
Part of the reason why we can't take them to grocery stores is because if I drive a collector grocery store and they get out and go to the store and they steal something, I'm liable.
Yep.
And that's unacceptable.
Wow, I wouldn't have even thought
We have to
I can't transport children. I can't, the only person I can transport is my client. Nobody else can be in the vehicle. I can never ever transport children. I will get my contract pulled immediately.
Because we have to sign, we can't, but it has to be.
My kids used to have PS, so yeah, I know. Yeah, but you work with kids.
And Deanna mentioned a contract, so part of the, and it has its goods and bads, but part of the good thing with our program is all of the parent partners are contractors. They're independent contractors, so they are not employees of any organization. Which means they have certain freedoms that an employee wouldn't necessarily have. And again, going back to, we don't report to DHS and we don't want to send info, that could be detrimental to that family. That's part of why they're contractors. They're not held to, that sort of thing. There will be times where they have to, if there was relapse or if there was some sort of a danger,
And the children.
immediate danger to the children, something like that, we do have to report that. But they have the ability as parent partners to kind of make that decision whether or not it's something that rises to a level of notifying the coordinator, who then is a mandatory reporter. has
But
to tell
even
the
if we do
department.
see something that shouldn't be going on, I still can't talk to DHS. I tell her,
Yeah.
You can't.
I talk to her and she decides whether or not to call DHS.
What's the average, if you want to call it a stay or the family that you work with, the family?
It can go from a couple months to years.
Okay.
As long as their case is open with DHS, they have a parent partner. Once they close a DHS case, we back away. I always tell my clients when I close them out, and I actually closed a couple girls out this week, that I'm still here for you. You need to call me, call me. I have my very first client when I first started this a few years back goes to meetings and I see her every day. Like years later, she was my very first client and she got terminated on, but she came back after everything. And now she wants to try to build a life for herself. So yeah, it's actually, she knew where to go. She knew exactly where to go. She called me. She's like, when are the meetings at the club? So yeah, it's really neat. She's working really hard, Joe. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, I know, one of the things I know, we kind of pride ourselves on is that factor of like, we really don't lose, our partners really don't lose those relationships, like, where you get a counselor or somebody that's there for whatever period of time that is, and then you're kind of,
Right.
because you do as an employee of somewhere, you do have to follow certain guidelines to where, I know some places, like you can't talk to that person for 6 months to a year after case closure or some.
Well, if you're in a
Tangible
residential, if
time.
you're in the residential facility, the employees
You have to
can't,
wait a year
you have to wait a year.
before you can be friends on Facebook or have your
Right.
phone
That's
numbers.
hard because they want to reach out.
Right.
They wanted-
Yeah.
I had one the other day that reached out, wanted to share a happy thing that had happened with me because kiddo went in.
Yeah. So that's one of the benefits of being a contractor is you
I can do it.
make
I do what I
that-
want.
you make that decision. And then we have, what'd you say, you have 12 parent partners?
Couple coming on.
Yeah. And we're constantly looking, so a lot of times when they get to case closure or something, that's when we're talking
Okay,
to
you should
them
be a
about,
parent
hey,
partner."
you would make a good parent partner. we'd like to get you to start that process of,
It takes a long time to train.
and we do have requirements, so they have to have a year of sobriety if substance was an issue in their case. And they have to have at least 6 months reunified or up to a year to have figured out, like if they got terminated on, they have up to a year to have appealed or went through that process, so. And the biggest reason for those things is because we don't want to send somebody out there that's freshly sober, talking to people that are still probably
Right.
using.
Because chances are they'll drag them right back down.
Yeah.
Sure.
We don't want to put the parent partner in a bad situation. Plus, we want to make sure they're fairly stable with that reunification or whatever came with the case, that, they're not gonna automatically go back. Because, stuff happens. We have parent partners start, and then a month, 2 months down the road, they, another case comes up, or, they've reused something, right?
Yeah.
So we try to minimize those from happening by requiring those things.
And the parent partners are very good at, I want to use this term for lack of a better one, policing themselves. Like I'm very close to all the people I work with. Some of them are my closest friends. Our kids hang out together. I pick their kids up from school. Stuff like that. And if I see one of my parent partners going down a path that I'm worried about them, I'm going to say something. And it's not just about the parent partner program, but it's a lot about that. It's because I'm a very strong person in recovery, and I want to make sure my people are okay.
Yeah.
I have to do that. And I'll be quick, just what's going on? And then I will. I'll knock on the door. People know.
Avon calling.
Exactly. I've said that before. It's funny. But we're very close to each other. We support each other. We help each other. We have a messenger thing so that we can ask each other questions when one of us needs a resource for our family. And even though and everything is confidential, even between each other, but we can always, hey, I got a family who needs a couch. What has anybody got for me? But we're very supportive of each other. If one of us goes miss, like if nobody hears from me for like 5 or 6 hours, people are at my door knocking. I'm getting like 10 minutes. What are you doing? Okay, can I take a bath? Leave me alone. That's how we are.
With some families
We're-
that you just never.
Right. Yeah.
Or
And
outside sources.
and a lot of because we have man parent partners too who deal with the other halves, and a lot of us have couples together. So yeah, it's like a lot of, well, can you call his parent partner? And
No, you can't.
I know.
He said that she
That's
said
what I
it,
just
said
said.
this.
No, I can't.
So we as, CFI and having this parent partner program, they do a lot for the parent partners as well. They kind of do things above what you would think is a normal job. Like a couple of the requirements are parent partners have to go to what's called a clinicals. So every month we have a licensed clinician that comes in, and the team, gets to sit around and vent and talk about what's going on in our lives, what's, obviously not giving any details, but they can, talk about maybe frustrations with the role, right?
It's very easy when you're beginning as a parent partner to, a lot of your past trauma comes up when you're dealing with somebody that's dealing with some of the same stuff you did. So that really helps. It's very beneficial to have that. Mhm.
It's not like, my name's Clint. Hi, Clint.
Yeah. No.
No, not quite.
So they have clinicals. We do a team every month. So the entire team gets together and usually tries to do some sort of an activity. And then obviously the business side of it, giving them info and things like that. And then they also have to have a one-on-one with the coordinator. So each parent partner has a one-on-one to go over kind of each file, each case, and then also, one of the big questions we always ask is, what's going on? Or, you have anything you need to talk about? Anything you want to vent, get off your chest? Anything that's happening, with you or your kids or your family? It's good when the coordinator and the parent partner, kind of know each other a little bit, because you can see the signs, you can see maybe some red flags of the day's not going well, or the month hasn't been going well.
She calls me out all the time.
So it's just kind of a more,
It is. I
I
have
don't
a
know,
few
it's
of those
more-
actually.
more of a personal, more of a relational type of position.
We're family.
Who's the employer?
Children and Families of Iowa.
But then you're a contractor.
I'm an independent
So
contractor.
are you an independent
No,
contractor?
she's
Okay, you guys are.
Yeah, we're
So that way-
employees.
They get like benefits and 401k and stuff.
I used to be an independent
She
contractor.
was a
Right.
parent partner just till recently.
So I didn't think I had heard of this program, but then it dawned on me, my friend Denise Moore, Des Moines,
Yeah,
does this, right?
she
Yeah,
used to, yep.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
she used to, okay,
Oh, yeah. Many meetings with Denise. I remember Denise.
yeah, okay.
It
Okay,
was funny, Clint was talking about clinicals, I remember, and this has happened more than once, where we'll all sit in a room and we got Brian, who's an amazing therapist, and he comes and he does it for us. One of us had a real issue, they were feeling all these things, and pretty much every single parent partner is like, well, listen, this is what you need to do, blah, blah. And Brian at the end was like, yeah, whatever all them just said. Because we support each other. For the most part, all the parent partners that we have in our group, except for one, we're all addicts. We're all some kind of substance abuse. So we support each other. We see each other at meetings, and we know, yeah, it's what we do, and we absolutely love it. At least I love it.
statewide, how many families do you think go through this program a year?
I can tell you, in my 7 counties, I have 92 people.
Well, I think
Right at the moment.
I think it's 1,800 is our goal. Don't
In all
quote me
of
on the
Iowa,
number
correct?
specifically, but it's, yeah.
It's
I
starting to
think we
branch out
were
to
up in the
other states, too.
1700s.
There's other states that are starting to adopt the parent partner program.
Yeah, and
And
that's
it's
a really
amazing.
good, big
Yeah.
thing for our program got published. We're on 2 of the clearinghouses as a promising deal, which is the highest we can get apparently right now. And then they've been our state coordinator has been reaching out to other states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Texas, and they are all now attempting to see what they can start in their states. So
Minnesota has already rolled it out
Yeah.
in a few counties.
So did it used to be part of DHS, or has it always been?
Are, yeah,
it started
I
off.
just remember Denise's
Service
office being in the DHS building.
So some of
maybe
the
that's just,
offices
you
still
know.
are.
Okay,
Because we are basically a program of
right,
that. It's a DHS program.
okay.
So yeah, some of the coordinators will actually have offices at different DHS areas.
Right.
It's just it's kind of just a symbiotic relationship. Like there's not one without the other.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see parent partners go from hating
I hated my DHS
Yeah.
caseworker. I couldn't stand her.
hating their workers.
Now she
and
checks up on
just-
me through other clients because one of my clients just got her as a worker, and she's like, tell
When you get an interview, new parent partners coming in with a DHS representative there, just how, that's one of the questions we ask, what did you think about DHS when you first started? And usually it's not good.
Right,
Like, they're there to take my baby, like they're,
yeah,
they're bad, horrible, evil entity. And then, okay, well, what's changed? And then it's like, I wouldn't be here without them. I wouldn't have my kids. I wouldn't,
My DHS worker helped me save my own life.
right.
So it's really an amazing, like, every time you do it, no matter how crappy a day is, like, you get to see that, and it's really
Mhm.
kind of an uplifting thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
And I don't come from a background of social service. I've been doing almost 3 years now, but when I started, I had no idea. I didn't have
You started,
DHS
like, a couple
case.
weeks
I've
before I
never had certain things that parent partners did. And of course, my first week, they were questioning the heck out of me while I was there.
we didn't want him there.
I didn't belong because I didn't have some of the same story.
Like, he's
Even though I did,
what?
once you.
He worked where?
Yeah. But it's like, it's just a different program. Seeing this program work, I can't imagine why we don't have more things like that, where it's people that have lived experience, like they know beyond a shadow of doubt what these families are going through.
Yeah.
Like, it's not somebody like me sitting behind, a computer, have read a file, or, something where I just can't connect on that level. But yeah, parent partners have been there, done that.
Yeah. no, I
Yeah,
like
sure.
that. I've got a group, I work for SIS obviously full-time, but then I have my own little nonprofit. I work with families that have a loved one incarcerated. And I always try to get people to facilitate, to get it.
Yeah.
I've never been incarcerated. I don't get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, and to work with the youth, people that, maybe as a youth, have it, so they can understand, what it's like. So yeah, I appreciate that you
Well,
guys
so
do that.
now all these services are out there. Because as a school counselor, I see families all day long.
Right.
Or see kiddos in crisis and you're trying to connect with the family, but something's there, you just can't put your hand on it.
Mhm.
And at school, you're limited at how much you can do.
Right.
When little one's attached to your hip and cries and cries and cries the last day of school yesterday, please don't make me stay home all summer. Can I live with you, Mrs. Swinton? Can I, and it just.
I would have tried.
Oh, it's hard. And then when they talked about the last session of taking all these stories home, I would say a good 10 to 15% of kiddos hate the last day of school. They don't want it to end. It's not an exciting, woohoo, we're home, we're at the pool.
You know what,
It's scary for them.
A few years ago, I'm sure my kids hated the last day of school because mommy was always gone. Mommy was locked up in the bathroom. Mommy was doing this, that, and the other thing. And my daughter, when she first came home from foster care, and I don't have any family, so my kids went to foster care. She had so many behavior, having thrown chairs at teachers, trying to stab a teacher last year with a pencil. It just was escalating. She had an IEP at her old school, and then they decide, well, we're going to switch her to this other school because they're better equipped to deal with behaviors. And now she's getting student of the month, and she's like every day she gets 98, 100%. It was because that school wasn't equipped to deal with it. And I was starting to feel like a failure because I was it wasn't getting better, and it should have been getting better. Mommy's doing better. Every day I'm getting up and I'm doing mom things,
But in
and
their little heads, so much change.
it took my son, and I have my 9-year-old and my daughter, and then I have a 11-year-old son. I also have a 23-year-old, but he's gone. He lives somewhere else. It took him a year and a half after they got home from foster care to let me go to the bathroom without him standing like with his foot in the door. Because he was afraid. There was nowhere to go. Shooting down the drain. But he was afraid that I was going to leave and take off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And now and they're old enough to stay home by themselves for like an hour. Like, you going to a meeting? Yeah, all right, see you later. He doesn't even look, doesn't say bye. See you later. He's good. He knows I'm going to the meeting and I'm coming back.
But then my other issue is I deal with so many kiddos. My favorite quote was about 10 years ago when a little guy came in my office and said, I can't be friends with you anymore, Mrs. Swenson. I said, why? We're buddies. We talk about stuff all the time. Well, my mommy said that every time I come and talk to you, a man in a white car shows up at our house. Well, honey, that would be DHS. And I know, but to be able to help them, and I've been doing it long enough to know what will and won't get picked up by DHS and trying to find other alternatives to pull the services that these families need to be healthy again.
Some people just need you to
And
understand.
teachers of all people who are highly educated, A, they don't read anything. And B, they don't, many of them, not all, don't get that connection. And it's like, what do you mean you called the parent to tell them they did something minuscule on the playground today? Do you know what's gonna happen to that kid when they get home?
I had a teacher this year. My daughter, and mind you, my daughter's a bit of a chunker. She likes to eat.
All three?
Told the teacher that we didn't have any food because she didn't have the snack she wanted that day.
Specifically.
My daughter's never missed a meal in her life. So they called DHS and said that I wasn't feeding my children and that I was back on the map,
Oh,
which I was not. I did a hair test, went through all the hoops, because even as a parent partner, they have to do their assessment.
Sure.
The DHS worker showed up at my house. I was on my way back from Cedar Rapids because I was doing the training for parent partner. And my daughter answered the door with a bag of Cheetos in her hand. He looked at my freezer and started laughing.
But they were doing their job. But still, they.
I don't
gotta
really
know.
think
that's lack of education?
I think that's lack of education,
think that
because
that's
when a child
lack
says,
of-
oh, we have
that-
no food.
That
Ask
they should have been
questions.
more, yeah,
There
they
should have been
more.
Okay, well, what kind of food? Well, we just don't have the chips I like. My freezer was full of meats. There was milk in believe me, we're fat and Italian, we eat.
But for a kid to say that someone at school was not doing their job.
They weren't paying close attention to who she was. They clearly didn't know her very well.
I think about that a lot. Like 13-year-old all the time. I was like, you don't have any food. I'm like,
We
Right.
don't have any
It's
food
just
that I can make right now.
I hear
It's
that's.
because we don't have the
It's-
food she wants. We
it's
don't have the
funny,
pizza.
Because a week before that, I was at the redo of her IEP at the school. And when I talk about my kids, I tend to get emotional. And I was like, I'm passionate about it because they're my kids. They took whatever behavior I had that day because I was emotional as I was getting high again.
Oh, my goodness.
Not passionate about your kids and wanting
No,
to see them do well.
no.
Well, it's almost like
Just-
once you're part of the system, you can't.
And
you know,
that's
also-
you're
And of
always
course,
going to
I'm
be
red
extra
flagged
under
because I have
Right.
dire
Exactly.
And I'm
Right.
trying really hard.
Do we really have red flags? Like, I wonder if there is such a thing. in
No,
the-
there
I
is.
use
You
that
are
word.
considered high risk if you.
No, I mean, in
it.
the system, I wonder if they put in our name, if it comes up like a, you know what I mean?
Oh, I
had an
see.
issue.
Oh.
It comes us to
Say
something
that there's a
because
genetic
he told me
case.
I was
Sort of like our
high
system
risk.
where,
I was high risk because I had had a previous DHS case.
Right.
In a different county a couple of years back, but still I had a
They
DHS.
flag counselors that call on pretty much a daily basis. They always say, hey, what's your name? And I laugh. I gotta look and see if you're in our system. Oh, honey, I built your system.
Did the, any of the virtual people, can you still hear us? And do you have any questions?
Yeah.
They're
we
not-
know, we know,
Dee's-
Dee,
Dee's
we
there.
know,
Dee's there. Hi,
Dee.
Dee.
I like these backgrounds.
I'm a teacher too.
Do you agree that there's teachers out there that don't?
Certainly,
investigate the situation?
certainly, yes. In fact, when I was teaching last, I retired. I went back to school when I was 39 to get my teaching degree. And I got it and I taught for 13 years at Iowa's largest elementary in Oski. And that's one reason I left is because it was too big and there wasn't enough care for those children. We had we had 8 second grades when I left. And the kids didn't know each other. We were like robots going to lunch. We had one recess. They've got to get outside and burn off that energy and learn social skills.
And that was
Yeah,
one thing.
it was-
being-
I was
I've
burnt out.
been In a new district, I'm not liked very well already because
Yeah,
I'll go out and yank a kid out of the classroom during recess and tell him to go run. And the teacher's like, he has homework to do.
yeah.
He is not doing that right now. He is going to go run and we'll get that done later.
But yet it's assess. So if they don't do the work, then they get poor grades and then it's our fault.
The chair out of the side.
Yeah,
So,
it's tough.
funny story, we were talking about AEA in there, and I actually, I don't know that you said fire them, but when the pandemic hit, my 2-year-old has DS. So when the pandemic hit, they weren't coming into the home. Well, he's 2 and he needs physical therapy and all this stuff. And so we were doing Zoom. Well, there's not much you can do on a Zoom for a 2-year-old. And I
No.
begged them to come in and do at least physical therapy with him. And they refused to do it. So I'm like, I don't need these services at the moment. We'll just,
We'll do that ourselves.
We found that out with PAT some too. The Zooms are not, the Zoom meetings are not in person and you can read a book to them, sure, but it's not them sitting on your lap listening and giggling and stuff, so it's. a
right.
lot
And,
different.
and I understood that they have their rules and stuff, but until I was just like, until you're back in person at the moment, you could somebody else could probably use your services. 'cause
Right.
It's just not working for my 2-year-old.
Mhm.
He is not worried about no Zoom meeting.
No. He's not,
We're still not back in the homes.
but he's walking now and he's not even 2 yet.
I have a 3-year-old down. Polish. It's in our school system. Oh my gosh. If he goes missing, someone better check my bag. That's coming out with you.
Is there any other questions about parent partners or services we provide, anything?
I love to know that. Yeah, is there any written material or?
Yes, Clint has a
websites or
couple.
something?
I do have some pamphlets that tell you kind of what we look for in a parent partner and who can meet, what qualifications are.
We're looking at it. Can I ask, not for myself, but for others, is it on a 1099 schedule? Are they paid through the state? Is it
For
volunteer
the
to start?
contractors.
Right.
So they still they'll get an invoice paid out through CFI, but it's all in a contract. It's all contracted. in.
Percentage down probably.
Do you have an office then, or you work from
I'm
home?
working on my truck.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I do
go to
have an
the
office.
Yeah,
But I do I meet clients in different places,
right.
the park, sometimes our house, some other places. So I do a lot of driving.
Mhm.
And I have paperwork at home and I have paperwork in my truck, I have paperwork in my purse. Just because I never know. And if I need it, I go get it from her office or have her bring it to a meeting or something. So
Well, that's another good thing with them. I mean, as contractors, they set their schedule. So,
yeah,
Right.
you know, if they know
I'll-
there's a family that has to meet on a particular night or day, or even a Saturday,
Weekend.
Sunday sometimes,
Better sometimes, yeah.
you know, they work with them and
I
they,
try not to unless they absolutely have to. So
but they get, I mean, they can do what they need to do during the day. You know, the whole self-care thing, you know, they get to make sure that they schedule that and they can take care of themselves.
For me, one of the best things was I was able to build my job around my recovery, because my recovery is the most important thing in my life above everything else. I have to have that. So I do whatever, like, okay, I'm meeting from 12 to 1, so I can meet you at 11:30 or I can meet you at 1:30.
Right.
You choose, you know? And most of my families are really, they're usually pretty flexible, except for that one that gets off of work at 4 and lives like an hour away. She's fun. I'm on my way.
We do ask a lot out of them, you know, we've sent Deanna across the state to different places. We've got some parent partners that will go out of state to talk to, you know, conferences and that's why I said we don't shy away from presenting or letting people know who we are. 'Cause
Right.
it's, I mean, I can't believe that we don't have more programs like it for other. I was talking to our DHS supervisor, Sarah Baker in Wapello. And I'm like, why can't we have something for kids going through stuff like this?
Right.
Why can't we have you know, maybe like the younger adult or 18 and 19 group of kids that have been through foster care, been through the system that can then mentor
Other kids.
you know, kids that are
Like I've
going
done
through
with
it right
kids who
now.
had somebody incarcerated. Exactly.
Because we, on our end, I mean, we're specifically there for the parent. We don't do anything with the children. However, by helping the parent, you know, and
Right.
we're going to affect that family and that kid. But for that kid to have somebody specifically that they can just talk to and not be a
Yeah,
lawyer
like a big
or a
brother
worker
thing.
or,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So we brainstorm about that. We're working on that. We'll see.
Clint,
We'll see how it
Clint, that
goes.
might be something you talk to Anna about.
Okay.
Good. I mean,
I
just
was thinking that too, yeah.
because she works with those kids that are out of, you know, just kind of thrown out to the world once they've been in foster.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel for them.
Yeah, but we just, I mean, I look at this program and again, coming from the outside in, like I just, in my head, I can't imagine why this isn't like a bigger deal.
Mhm.
Why have we not learned that people just need, sometimes people,
I know.
I mean, I haven't been
Yeah.
in those crisis
you know,
situations, but I have been a school counselor in family homes long enough
Mhm.
that I've been as with them, not directly, and I'll never pretend to know what it must feel like. but,
Right.
Something to say now is for them.
chew that to
Apology.
I mean, because this, I mean, the relationship I've built with, you know, the parent partners shows that like, you don't have to, I bring something different to the program than what they do.
Right.
Like I have a different background, business background, and I can manage certain things and supervise, but those working together, you know, should show us that that's, you know, you don't have to have the exact same
back to that whole
background. It's just,
These kids.
Okay, it's
I respect them for who they are and they respect me for, and that's how it works. Is we don't think one's lesser than or
No.
better
We're a
than
team.
the other.
got this, I was thinking while I was chewing on my 3 Tootsie Rolls, you got this whole group of people have all this experience and they've managed to claw their way out of the darkness and out of the trauma and stuff that they've dealt with their whole life. And they are the most equipped people to drag other people out and to show other people the way. And a lot of people don't realize that because they look on us and they think, oh, they're never going to be okay. Well, I'm doing the thing. And I think that's really it's not utilized. It just isn't. And you got, I mean, who better to help an addict than another addict?
Right, exactly.
It's our whole the whole 12-step program I work is based on
Take
that.
my hand and
Yeah.
go,
And it's really amazing to me that there are people like Clay and Sarah Parsons, who's like the boss of the boss of the bosses, who are not addicts and they don't have a lot of that trauma, but they still understand it and they still want to help cultivate it. They still know that the best person to do what I do is people like me. So I think that's really neat. So what you take out now?
But you're wrong
Oh.
about Sarah Person. She does have,
I know she had given out the same kind of trauma.
No, and
she lives in Austin. She used to work in the dental office, yes.
would she come in on a VHS call to school?
That's Sarah Baker.
That's Sarah Baker.
For Appanese County,
She's
it would be Sarah Baker.
She was my favorite. And she's like, well, do you have any other proof? I'm like, I have a video of it all happening. She's like, what?
That'll work.
Right from the school on video camera, here you go. Okay, well,
Oh my
that's cut and
gosh.
dry. Let's just call the sheriff while we're here. I'm like, all right, I like
That
it.
sounds like Sarah.
Yeah.
All right, were there any other parent partner questions or anything else?
I'd like one.
See, it's not just addicts that get off track every 17 minutes, Clint.
It's every 7 seconds.
Every 7 seconds.
That's fun. This was good conversation.
It's good to know these things are out there.
It's
Oh,
insane or something.
I'm singing it out, sing.
I was gonna show pictures of my baby.
Oh, yes, show pictures of Squishy.
I'm trying to get it up though.
That's what I call it. Squishy.
Has your baby seen Cheryl Jones?
No, we went to Iowa City because it's a long story, but I didn't go to the OBGYN here. So a lot of his are in
I was
Iowa
wondering
City.
why it looked weird.
Okay, because
But
she's
yeah, I
saying
did-
face to face.
I did think about that because she's so much closer to me. See if
Yeah.
I can't just get him to go there instead of having to take him clear to Iowa City.
Right. Well, it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
I have her number if you want it.
So it just.
Okay. You have my email address?
I came.
Or you
No,
can, you can give it to me. I got my phone right.
This is my daughter.
So I'm just gonna jump in for a second. I see that you all are kind of wrapping up and doing the perfect thing that we absolutely
I think
want to
I
have
really
happen, which is
Yes.
exchanging phone numbers and
I do because my
referring each other to each other.
Landa.
Nicholas. and
So much fun.
So I'm going
Went
to
with them.
just wrap this up with a couple little announcements and then I'll end the recording. And feel free to stay and chat as long as you'd like. Or until the next session starts at 3:30. Because there will be another session in this room. So this recording will be available to you later
So this is my
on the community.
What's his name?
Harrison.
Oh, what's his name?
And yeah, feel free to post resources there in the community. Start a chain that's linked with this session.
Yep, yep. I see
And
that.
keep the conversation going for sure.
Yep.
See if I can-